My name is Philip Delkea, a political strategist and a scientist from Kilifi County. So I'd like us to discuss on, to comment, just a comment on the August 9th election that was just concluded the other day. So I have my guest here, our political strategist also by the name Carlos Mumba. Yes, how are you, sir?
Fine, thank you, sir.
Yes.
It's a pleasure to be here this afternoon.
Yeah, you are much welcome, sir.
Thank you for the invitation.
So, what is your view? So, just to go straight to the point, what is your view on the current election that was concluded on 9th August 2022?
Thank you, Brother Philip. I think I can commend the ABC for the good work that they've done for these elections.
Yes.
Comparing the elections of August 9th, 2022 and the elections of 8th August of 2017, you realize we have improved significantly in terms of the process. I remind you that election is a process, and in terms of the processes, we have really improved. For example, in 2017, part of the petition that was there in 2017 was lamenting about the transparency. And as we have seen in the just concluded elections, barely 3 weeks ago, we have seen that the IBC came up with a public portal where they could be able to share the results so that people could see. So I think that is one area, one item in which we can say the ABC as a body, as a commission, has really improved in terms of the processes. Again, yes, in terms of transmission of the results, previously we could hear people saying that the results were sent via an SMS, but as we speak today, I think it has been confirmed even by the ongoing petition in the court, which is yet to be determined tomorrow in the course of the day, that everything was transmitted electronically via the King's Kit into the National Tallying Center. That is an improvement. Away from that, I think this election has taught us so many lessons. As we speak today, we have all come to learn that the issue of political parties is no longer an issue to the voter. We have seen today various areas, independent candidates, including independent candidates for gubernatorial elections. We have one in Taita Taveta, Andrew Madime, elected to the post of a governor through independence. We have one in Meru County, Mwangaza Kawira. This tells you that people are no longer looking at the party politics as such. Further to that, you can see that people were exercising the democratic right in such a manner that they were not looking at the duty person. For example, if you look at the elections in places like Kilifi County, maybe I'll pick two counties and give you the statistics on how the elections was conducted. You realize that in Kilifi County, the governor is from ODM, the member of parliament is from UDA, and then the several members of county assembly cut across the parties. This tells you people were not there just to do the six-piece election as it has been exposed previously in 2017 and I think in 2013. Also, when you look at Nairobi County, we have seen that election, the governor comes from UDA, the members of parliament from largely Azimio, and then the members of county assembly cutting across. This tells you that people no longer look at the issue of the six-piece, but they look at the general objective, the manifesto of the politician. To conclude on that, I think this election has also taught us that youth, we have an opportunity. We have an opportunity to lead this country. For example, we have seen several youth across this country being elected into positions. A good example is the women representative elect for Bomet County, Lynette Tuto, court in court. It would not imagine, in the previous years, we would not imagine that such a young person would come for such a big seat and they're elected. Several areas in other areas we've seen.
Before you proceed, Mr. Carlos, yes, what is your advice to these? Because today's guys like the governors, the MPs and MCs that were just elected, yeah, even if we still have the case that is still going on the presidential election, yeah, that we are expecting the judgment to possibly by tomorrow.
Thank you. I think that those who have been elected for the first time and that those who have been re-elected, defending their seats, and there are those who have been re-elected after having been outside the government for the last 5 years. I mean, in 2017, they were not re-elected. What they need to do, I think they need to roll up the sleeves. Whatever the case, we need to roll up the sleeves, get into the work very fast and do what needs to be done. Acquaint yourself with the necessary legal statutes that guide you in your operations and do it. In the case of governors, I think they should be able to roll up their sleeves and be able to fuse their manifestos into the already existing county budgets that have been in place. Budgets for the county were passed some few months ago. So as the governor comes in, he comes in with the manifesto. They should be able to fuse it there. That is number one. Number two, in the case of the governors, they should be able to bring together these members of county assembly from across the political divide in order for them to be able to deliver. Because to a large extent, they will have to use these guys to pass their bills, including budget making processes and all these things. And perhaps I wanted to conclude on the issue of the general picture of the 2022 general elections.
Yes.
I think I need to thump up the people the issue of two-thirds gender rule. It has come out clear now that women can also vie and defeat men. So, my rallying call to the women of this country: you don't wait for you to be appointed in a certain positions. Don't just go and vie for that position of the women. It is high time that women can also stand up for any other post in this country, including the president, and will be elected. I think Nakuru have shown us a very good example, having a women governor, senator, governor, women representative, and several members of parliament, several members of the county assembly. And so does Machakos County. The governor is a woman, and the senator, and so to say. So I think the elections generally we have improved, and the rule of law is really applying.
Now let us go back to the presidential election.
Yeah.
Now that we are having a case in court and it was now we are waiting for the judgment probably by Monday. Yeah, what do you think the court? What is your view, and what do you think probably the court will base their argument on in terms of giving out fair judgment?
Thank you. From a legal perspective, although I'm not a legal practitioner, it's not good. It's not commendable for people to comment on a case that is still is pending determination. However, because we're not legal practitioners, I can give my honest opinion or fair opinion on the same issue. First, I want to comment that the whole issue of the election petition is still part and parcel of the election process, because the Constitution of Kenya provides that in case any of the presidential candidates is not satisfied with the results, or rather the process of the whole election, they are at a leeway to go to the Supreme Court and seek redress. And so, what I want to say here is that as a Kenya, I think the democracy in Kenya is developing and we have grown. And I think even the countries in our neighboring East Africa and many other countries are really looking into Kenya as an example. Why? We have done an election. We get the result, so the election is concluded quite peacefully, quite peacefully, so to say. And then we go to a Supreme Court, and everybody is like, I'm waiting for the verdict of the Supreme Court, and it will be final. This is something we should be proud of as Kenyans. It has never happened elsewhere, I think, in the East African region, perhaps part of Africa. Again, I think the judges of the Supreme Court, before I go into the details of the question, they have really done a good job. I've been glued to the televisions recently, following what these guys are doing. The judges have really set up a very conducive environment for the lawyers from across the board, the petitioners, the respondents, to be able to argue their case reasonably. Um, the judges have also given these guys ample time. Like when they ask questions, they give them ample time to go and research and come up with answers. And so, what then do I think these judges will use in order to be able to determine the cases? Number one, any case can be determined on the basis of evidence. You cannot just argue, rather present a case that I have been injured by so and so and so. There must be substantial evidence. So number one, I think the case will either be annulled or upheld based on the evidence that any of these two parties, the petitioner and the respondent, is going to provide to the court. That is number one. Number two, if you have been very persistent in following what the Supreme Court was doing, you will realize that these judges were asking very pertinent and crucial questions. In my honest opinion and my view, I think that the judges will use such critical questions to be able to arrive at the determination. And may the best team win.